Hey guys, Andrew from Team Cowboy for Game giving you my deck profile of MAJESPECTERS that I took to YCS Sydney 2016. First off, 3 Majespecter Raccoon, just the main searcher of the deck. Grab any Magi you want, make your scales, do your bits, make your plays. 3 Magi Fox grabs your traps, traps being the most aggressive back row of the deck. Puts through your power plays, level 4, make your rank 4s, probably the best Magi in the deck. 2 Toad. For me, Toad replaced Crow as the scale 5, and also so you have access to 2 traps per turn. Combined with Fox, yeah, just lets you set a lot of back row, and overall it's a pretty good unit. 2 Cat. Cat lets you search for any Magi card in the end phase. Great defense unit. It's great for rank 3s with Raccoon, and a great way to get Raccoon when you don't have access to it. Or one of my favourite plays is making Totem Bird with both Raccoon and Cat, and you can search for another Raccoon in the end phase, so you can do it all over again next turn. 3 Luster Pendulum. Luster Pendulum allows for some ridiculous plays in this deck. You can put a scale 2 with him, pop it, grab another scale 2 of the same name and use it for a free monster. And obviously you can go into your really powerful Ignister plays later on to go for game. Triple Plushfire. Once again, Plushfire just does some stupid stuff. Special summons every time it's destroyed, and also you can do that for ridiculous plays with Ignister. Defensive plays to grab a Trick Clown or Damage Juggler, and also as a scale 5 is quite handy in this deck. 3 Damage Juggler, an absolute essential part to this deck and almost any deck in this format. Stops the enemy Wavering Eyes, use it to stop OTK, stop Farm Girl searches, and then once it's in the graveyard you can banish it for a search. Too good. 1 Mirror Conductor. I find in desperate times when I need a low scale I can banish the Damage Juggler and grab him. Usually I go for the scale 2 if possible, but sometimes it's not possible. The handy effect on field to swap the attack and defense of one monster. For Ignisters, for example, have 0 defense. Very, very handy tactic to use. And on top of that, it's one of my favourite fodder for going into Majespecter Paladin to get that free search at the end, rather than using up one of my Magis. 1 Trick Clown, just floats for days and summonable by Plushfire, searchable by Damage Juggler. Great for the rank 4 toolbox. 1 Glow Up Bulb for some synchro plays that I'll get into a little bit later. Just handy because I can send it with Foolish, and same with Damage Juggler. Last of the monsters, 2 Maxis. In this current format there tends to be a lot of small special summons rather than just the one big one, especially against decks like Pepe. Absolutely fantastic to go a fair few pluses in Maxi at the moment. Onto the spells. 3 Upstart. Just play with a smaller deck, keep the deck a bit more consistent and faster paced. 3 Wavering Eyes. Probably the card of the format at the moment. In any pendulum matchup it's absolutely fantastic. You obviously want to do it so you can chain to their Wavering Eyes as well, or just to gain game advantage. I would personally probably run this at 2 if it was just for my deck, but in the format we're at where there's a lot of other pendulum decks, yeah, 3 is an absolute necessity. 2 Twin Twister. Magis don't have any back row hate for their own, so you do need to incorporate something like this or MSTs. I found the Twin Twisters works really well with the Performage engine, so you can ditch your Damage Jugglers or your Trick Clowns and still get some pluses off of that. 1 Raigeki, because Raigeki, just single board destruction, no cost. Pretty good as a one-off. 1 Foolish Burial for sending Glow Up Bulb to the graveyard, or Damage Jugglers or Trick Clown, just depending on situation. Onto the traps. 3 Majespecter Tempest, MVP of the deck. When a monster would be special summoned, so that's Fusion, that's XE, Synchro, or Pendulum Summon, you can just flip that and yeah, it just gets negated, sent to the graveyard. Also works on monster effects as well, so negate a special summon or a monster effect. Absolutely fantastic card, probably the best card in the whole deck. One Tornado, single target removal with Banish, helps you get out of problems like Naturia Beast, but overall it's okay. It's why I run it at 1. Wouldn't run it any less or any more, just seems to work at 1. One Vanities. Vanities is Vanities, you run it as a 1-off because it's only allowed at 1. Can just stop people dead in their tracks. Chain it to E-Tally, chain it to Cosmo's activating effects, or anything really. Chain it at the start of a Pepe's turn and you'll stop a lot of things from happening. And lastly, one Solemn Warning. Solemn Warning for obvious reasons. Negate a summon, extra Tempest really, but more importantly stops the normal summons too. So against Skull Combat Joker, very, very powerful. Just stops the plays from happening in the first place. Onto the extra deck. 2 Ignis to Prominence. Once again, it's a very, very easy end game for the deck. Spin one of your ones, destroy one of your pendulums, to spin one of their cards, or if you're versing another pendulum deck, pop one of their cards to spin another card. Just lets you get game very, very easily, get over problem cards. One Trishula, so this is the main purpose of the Glove Bulb in the deck, is to make Trishula. Once again, it's a problem solving card, non-targeting removal with Banish, up to 1 from hand, 1 from grave, 1 from field. Very easy just to get over problem cards who can't be targeted or easily destroyed. If I can use Damage Juggler again, if I can use Glove Bulb again, or depending on the situation, one ally of Justice Catastor. Surprisingly good in the mirror. Surprisingly good in the matchup against Cosmo, as there is a lot of light-based monsters. I've sat on him for a while against Cosmo and it's worked out pretty well. Onto the XYZs. One Trapeze Magician, just for OTKs, he floats. The Magis are all spellcasters, so very, very easy to make him go for good OTKs. One Majesty Paladin. Searches, activates effect on summon to search in the end phase for any pendulum to help make your future plays. Also has plays with Ignis to Prominence to be able to get 2 Ignises out on 1 turn and just go for a lot of damage. One Lightning Chidori, taking advantage of the wind attribute of the Magis. Just allows you to take 1 set card on the field and pop it at the bottom of your opponent's deck when summoned. And you can activate to put a face up on the top of their deck. So if it's something that's absolutely dead, if it was hard summoning conditions to meet or anything like that, for example, fantastic little out, or even just to remove a floodgate temporarily. One Cowboy, because hey, Cowboy for game. One copy of 1 at 1, just to steal your opponent's stuff, basically. Sometimes it's better to maintain control of your opponent's cards rather than letting them hit the graveyard, or sometimes even necessarily than letting them be banished or flipped back to the deck. So yeah, good for controlling. If it doesn't matter about where the card is, then Castel's good for just spinning it back to the deck. If it's no use to them, or if they have to waste the search getting it back, it can be quite good. One Ptolemaeus, which is just part of my CDI engine. So 1 Cyber Dragon Infinity, 1 Cyber Dragon Nova, 1 Ptolemaeus. Obviously a very, very strong card. In this deck you kind of need to wait till you're in a bit more of an advantageous position and you just do it to have the final lockdown, opposed to Pepe, who can kind of do it off the bat with their Rafflesia combo. Still absolutely essential in the deck and very, very powerful. Lastly, my rank 3s. So 1 Acid Golem of Destruction, massive beast stick just for getting over problem cards. It's come in very handy. It's a great out to Cyber Dragon Infinity just to beat over it. And then the combo I mentioned a little earlier with Trapeze Magician, use it, detach to target him, can attack twice. After he's done his twice damage, you can have him destroyed through that effect so that I'm not hindered by the special summoning hindrance that he's got, or don't have to pay the life points to keep him around. So very good for getting out of tough situations. And lastly, 1 Totem Bird. Fantastic little lock card to go into with your 2 level 3s. Can just stop your opponent from making plays. So it's detach 2 material and negate the activation of a spell or a trap. And that includes Pendulum Scales. So very, very handy card. Lastly, the side deck. So random staples, I guess you'd say. 1 Twin Twister. to make it 3 in total, just in case the opponent runs heavy back row. I don't usually side this in, but I have sided in once or twice, did come in handy. 1 MST, if I feel that the twin twister isn't necessary, I don't mind swapping them out for MST instead. If it only needs to hit 1 card here and there, I'd rather not pay the cost and just have the MST hit it. I'm taking in 3 Forbidden Apocrypha. Handy little new card out of Bosch. All it is when you flip it, you declare 1 extra deck type monster. There has to be at least 2 of this type on the field at the moment. So the idea of this card was to choose XYZ against Pepe. Once they've hit their 2 of their XYZs, each player must send as many cards of that type to the graveyard. So the idea would be to sit on some Magis in defense, flip that, and then hopefully they've got King of Feral Imps or something along those lines. King of Feral Imps may be starting to go into Rafflesia or CDI, but long before they get to that point with CDI or when Rafflesia hits the field, you flip that and there goes all the materials and there goes all that wasted effort basically. So a good little tech card, worked out pretty handy over the YCS. Probably the better card that worked against them was 3 Stygian Dirge. Reduces the level of all monsters your opponent controls by 1. Mainly once again against Pepe, it was a absolutely perfect card. They don't really carry any rank 3s, so when everything's level 3, there's not too much they can do. And on top of that, you can't even really synchro for your Ignista plays either. The Huge Revolution was over. Once again, nice little tech card against Pepe. Simply put, you'll banish when an opponent activates a spell, trap, or monster effect that would destroy 2 or more cards, i.e. Pendulum Sorcerer or Wavering Eyes. You can negate that activation and banish the card. So better for against Sorcerer, but good for Wavering too. Now my Cosmo side in, 3 Imperial Iron Walls. Not much to be said there. Opponent can't banish. Oh, sorry, neither player can banish cards. All it does is stop me from removing Damage Ogre from play, but all in all, easy sacrifice for stop locking Cosmo out of their combos. Lastly, 2 Cyber Dragons and a Chimera Attack Fortress Dragon. If your opponent has a few ships out in Cosmo, you special summon one or normal summon by tributing, and then Contact Fusion into a Chimera Attack. Just an easy way out of the ships. Doesn't destroy them, just sends them to graveyard so they don't float. Just a handy little tech in. So that's my profile on Magis, my side and my extra for it. Hope you liked it. Yeah, Andrew signing out.